if you need to. You know, if you're on a laptop, chances are good you're not going to be able to do more than like 4 or 5 threads. Like right now, it tripped over itself at 1091 for the listing, but that's fine. And so what it's going to do is it's going to start to reply to 1091 messages one after the next, except it's not going to do one after the next because it's going to go through the multi-threading. So all at the same time, when it gets to that point, it's just going to straight start replying to literally 9 at once. Okay, so it's going to crack the caption, everything on each one, 9 at once. There it goes. Now it's continuing at 5 and 6. And so that's cool. So we'll just see it run. Thing is, of course, in this, I may as well pause it because it's going to go through like 35 pages in the end. You know, it's just, it shows some of the links along the bottom, but when it gets to the end, it keeps showing more until there's like no more. So when it gets to 15, it'll show 20 and then 25. So anyway, let me pause it. Let me get this thing finished and then we'll continue. By the way, that's like 200 ads per page times like what's going to be like 35 pages, I think is basically what they show per category. Do the math. 3,500 times 2 is 7,000 is the total ads, but we're selecting unique, so we're not going to get that many. But whatever, that's a whole lot of people to reply to. Even if that's like 200 per page really means like 180 unique people, or even 150, or even 100. It's like 100 per page. It's 1,700 people that I'm going to get my ad out to already. 1,800 people, sorry. It's going to keep moving until it's there, and then it's going to start to reply. That's the cool thing about this package. And we're just on Backpage. There's eBay Classifieds and Noodle to work from as well. You can just go on and on and on and on and on. That's what's cool about this package. Oh, really cool thing. With 8+1 threads running, that's 9 threads all at once. I was clocking a reply every 4 seconds. Now, my bot crashed. Finally, it just misfired because I had so many threads running at once, and it'll do that whenever it will. Because 8's really too many. You really should go with like 5. But we'll figure out how to beat the mistiming thing so that it lines up better and does what it's supposed to do. Also, as it replies, sometimes it trips over the emails. You got to like put in the email and then confirm email, and it trips over those across the threads. But that's okay because the page goes, hey, your email doesn't match, and then it just goes back and fixes it right away. Same thing with the CAPTCHA. If it cannot beat the CAPTCHA the first time around, it'll go back and fix it before it continues. So you're not losing anything. It will do everyone it can do all the way across. So when you think about that, that's huge. I mean, what do we got? 35 pages. Say it's like 3,500 people right now it could be replying to, and that's like 100 different people or so. And that's 36 now, 3,600 people. Point is, what if you make it sell even just once per 100 and you made like 25 bucks? Well, that's 3,500. That's 35 times 25 bucks. You know, or if it was 30, even if it was 40, it would still be a good $1,000. Heck, man, you make your money back in just a couple of hours or so, a few hours for the software. How long will this thing last before it crashes? Probably 3-4 months. That's our best guess because, you know, we've beaten Backpage over and over again for 3 years now. We've put millions of replies through Backpage as a group, and we've made a whole lot of money as a result of this. And so this thing has worked extremely well. Oh, by the way, look, it's like 44 pages and counting. That'll keep it busy for a while. That's a cool thing. Although in my case with 8 threads, it might crash, you know. So whatever. If I have to run like half the threads or something, then it's like one reply in 6 seconds is like 10 replies a minute. 10 replies a minute. That's 600 replies an hour. That's 6,000 in 10 hours. Jeez, man. If I only make a sale once every 1,000 for something bigger ticket and it's $100, that's 600 bucks. And so, yeah, I mean, you can make the money to pay this thing off within a day. You know, as long as your message is good. The biggest issue that people have really is making their message interesting, right? I mean, look at all these messages you see right here. Which ones would you click on? Which ones wouldn't you? Which of these subject lines? Because subject lines matter a lot, right? So what would you click on? Why do you click on it? You know, it's just important to know. Get your message right, and you wind up making a lot of money that way. And if you don't get your message right, just try and try again. Wonderful thing about this You can just keep trying. Try a message on 1,000 people. See if you get replies, responses, confirmation. If it doesn't work, switch it. Try again. If you think 1,000 isn't enough people to test, do 2,000 at a time. Do 5,000 at a time. Whatever. As soon as you get your message right, you're in like Flynn. You just get to keep going and going and going and going, and that is just awesome. Because once you get your message right, you can just go on forever with it, and you'll have whatever conversion rate you worked your way up to. Keep testing new messages if you want. See if you can improve the conversion rate if you want. Okay, now we're on page 52. 5,200 times 200, or 52 times 200 anyway, is how many individual posts there are. I do believe it's 200 per page, total posts, which is probably like more realistically 100 people per page, So anyway, here we go. Look at that. It says listing quantity 15,412 uniques. Okay, that's what it comes out to being all together. So whatever the math is on that, nonetheless, it's like huge. So look at this. We're staring at this window here along with these windows here, and they're all running in parallel. Okay, I got this thing set for 9, so it just kind of works its way through. Sometimes you see more pages pop up, sometimes back off. So it puts in, look at this, an email mismatch, which is cool. When it goes to send this off, you'll get to see this. It'll say, hey, the email is wrong. And so pay attention to the subject line here. This is not going to change. It's going to stay on the page. See, the email address you entered does not match. It will not leave the page. It will fix it. Now it matches. Okay? And that just corrects for the mistiming issues from running so many threads at once, which is still cool. See, this one says reply thanks. This one says, oops, email address does not match. It doesn't matter. It just fixes it. So it's going to go through these and continue. And as it backs off and continues, it's just sort of the way it controls itself. You'll see this thing like line up and then fall back, line up and fall back. Just the way it works. And so anyway, it's just going to keep going. And again, multi-threading with 8 plus 1 is 9. That's like a little much. Why does it slow down like this? Because if the reply quantity is reaching a point where the random IP address, where it needs to switch out the IPs too, you'll also see it back off, because it's got to reach the end of all the threads at the number where it switches out the IP address, and then it continues. Now, here we go, and it's going, and if I can click these fast enough, you can see the your reply sent in every single case, right? Now, I've been getting signups with this. I was using this to get signups, and it's working. It's just really a cool way to go. And so this software we love. Again, 3 years we've been using it. Some of you remember Ron Fair and what he had to say about it and all that stuff. Yeah, reply sent thanks this year. It's just, the rest of them is just email does not match until it fixes it, whatever. And then when it gets it fixed, and it looks like that in the window until it refreshes it there. Okay, just, it blows up the preview and then goes to the page, whatever. And then it goes through and fixes it. And all of a sudden you see a bunch of reply sent things. And that's just the way it goes. It's just going to keep running and running and running. Again, as we do updates and add new features and stuff, it'll be under the support tab. Check for updates, so just be aware of that so you know about it. There's reply sent things. There's a bunch more coming. Reply sent things down here, and so on. So this is really how this runs. It's sent out 23 replies already since we started chatting about this, right? And you can kind of see that the number slows down and speeds up as it beats a bunch of captchas pretty much at once. It's like 24 or 25. It just keeps going. Then when it gets to 27, we'll see what it does. Okay? Because it's going to get there, and then it's going to stop. And it may go a few more, just depends on like the windows that are in process at the time, that kind of thing. Then it'll switch out the IP, and then it'll just go right on continuing. And that's just awesome about how this thing works. And so we all really enjoy this. Now, they're all stuck on, oops, email did not match at this point. So we got a little waiting to do. I can show you, not show you. It's all the same thing. It's just this is the way it works. Reply sent thanks, and so on and so forth. It'll finally say reply sent thanks on all of them, just as it gets them done. And so there we go. Here we go. Finally, Hotspot Shield is refreshing. And so it's refreshing, and the other ones might bust in the meantime, and then they'll continue. No big deal. So it's just waiting for the refresh. It got as far as 49 before it really did it, I guess. Kind of funny. And again, we aren't supposed to be doing 8+1 yet. It's just we'll make it stable because it's so cool, and so we're gonna want to make it stable. So that's how it goes, guys. Now you see what's going on and how this thing works, and all the other ones are pretty much the same idea. All right, I hope you enjoy this and see the power of this is sending my message. It's got my URL at the bottom, whatever URL it picked randomly, message by message by message. It's hard to click on while it's in process. But there you go. That's the way it goes, and this is awesome, just really, really awesome.